welcome to another Ultimate Fighter episode review. This is for Season 30, Episode 10, titled Throw Nasty Stuff. And we have not a whole lot to go through for this one. It's going to be quite a short review, but I am going to try and stretch it out for as long as I possibly can. So we start off with Team Nunes. They go to Adrenaline Mountain in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they're just up there to just have a chill. They do a little bit of training up there. But mostly, the main thing we get from this one is we find out that back in Guam, where Brogan Walker is from, because she's fighting in this episode against Laura Gallardo from Team Pena, is that Brogan used to actually sling rocks when she was living in Guam as like a hunting thing. And she even teaches Eduardo Perez to do, and Eduardo actually gets a good handle of it. So, yeah, that's about it. That's the only real thing worth bringing up from this, but it gives me something more to talk about to try and pad this episode review out. But after that, we go pretty much straight into the training and prep for the fighters. So the main training thing for both of them, since they're both southpaw, is to sort of utilise what they did before. Brogan has the better striking game, so she's going to use her right hand more, even though she's a southpaw and her left hand is a power hand. And she's going to keep her right stance forward, which is something that should be considered a risk, considering that she was wearing a knee brace during training on her right knee, because that was the one that was injured a few episodes ago, and even then, you know, she won that fight. I don't remember exactly who it was against, but yeah, she manages to power through it in training, and she's able to move around really well on it. She does say it's still a bit of a problem, but not as much as it was before, and her main focus on training is to defensively wrestle, basically. Defend Laura's takedowns. There we go, I got there eventually. Because Laura's main game plan is to, if she can stand and move quick, then do that because she's shorter. She's the shorter fighter between the two. But the main game plan for her is just to stick to what she did in her first fight. Just wrestle as well as she can, and utilise the striking if need be. Watch out for Brogan's right hand, even though Brogan's a southpaw, but mostly try and keep the grapples going. We then get to the phone calls, or video calls for the two fighters, and not really a whole lot we're talking about here, but I'm glad that they're still doing these. So Laura talks to her boyfriend back home and their dog, and Laura has been keeping a journal of things as well, and she said that she's obviously just happy to see her boyfriend, and because she can't use her phone to contact him, much like no fighter in the house can use their phones to contact anyone else, her boyfriend says, wait until you check your phone, and that did make me laugh a little bit. But yeah, she had a nice talk with her boyfriend and their dog, and Brogan had to talk with her sister Mackenzie. So, you know, that was kind of cool how they did that, and yeah, it was just nice to see them reconnecting with family and friends and loved ones. So, just, again, glad they kept this, glad it's still going, and I hope it continues next episode, which it probably will. And there's honestly not much else to talk about except for the fight. So, well, I guess we have to talk about it. I'm only like 3.5 minutes into the recording of this video. Obviously, it'll be a bit shorter by the time it's cut and edited, but like, yeah, we have the full 3 rounds to go through. So, starts off, Laura's sort of taking control of Brogan. She manages to secure a clinch early, and is mostly pushing Brogan against the cage and trying to take her down, but Brogan is just utilising really good hip movement and is managing to stay away, and Laura is obviously getting frustrated by this. Laura keeps trying to grapple Brogan against the cage throughout round 1, and Brogan is just managing to turn away and isn't letting Laura get a leg over to try and trip her up. Just really intelligent defense from Brogan against possibly the best wrestler of the females in the house. Maybe the best wrestler remaining, you know? And it's just really good stuff from Brogan to be able to utilise her body and be able to get away from those bad situations. And she does it so accurately in not just this round, but in this entire fight, spoilers. And when they do break away from the clinches, Brogan definitely has the second half of the round. I think she had the majority of the first half as well, but yeah, she's able to use her reach, her strength, to her advantage. She even throws leg kicks with her right leg, which is the one with the bad knee. And she's still walking fine after landing them. Laura lands a good couple of leg kicks on that leg, but I don't know if she knows that Brogan's right knee is bad, but she didn't really go for it a whole lot, and even when she did, it didn't look like it had a lot of impact. I don't know, I'm just saying maybe if she did know that, it might have helped, but, you know, I'm glad that there's no snitching on either team. Having said that, round 1 goes to Brogan. Her stand-up was really, really good. She didn't land the most powerful strikes, and it did look like she got hit pretty hard early, but I think she just slipped up near the start of the first round. But yeah, her takedown defense was great. Her striking was even better. And just a really good round for her. Laura did have some good moments with the clinch, like she did have some good clinch control against the cage, but she wasn't able to do anything with it at all. We then get to round 2, and for a lot of round 2, they're both struggling to find their range. They're both mostly throwing jabs and not following it up with a lot. They do throw the odd leg kick here and there, but there's not really a lot of back and forth between them. It's like one will land a jab, then, about 10-20 seconds later, the other one will land a jab. There's not a whole lot of action going on. But Brogan does start putting her combos together a bit better as well, and Laura is desperate again for the takedown. She almost has one in round 2, actually, and she keeps trying to spin to get it, but Brogan spins with her, and actually manages to push Laura against the cage. And there is a moment as well where it looks like she hits Laura with a hard shot, but Laura just backs up against the cage and slips a little bit, much like sort of round 1 when Brogan slipped and people thought that she got caught with something heavy. No, neither of them did. They just slipped out unfortunate times in rounds 1 and 2. Round 1 for Brogan, round 2 for Laura. Thought I'd clear that up. But yeah, round 2 is pretty much almost entirely Brogan's. She's landing some really good strikes, countering quite well. When she does set up the jab with the... when she does follow up the jab with the hooks, it looks really good. And Laura, out of desperation near the end of round 2, pretty damn frustrated, goes for another takedown, but it is completely stuffed by Brogan, who manages to... while Laura's still going for the takedown, by the way, Brogan, that's her name, lands some really good knees from the clinch, and it does knock Laura down, although I think that's just more because she's exhausted from the grappling. And Brogan ends round 2 sort of on top and takes round 2 for me. I think she did more than enough work to steal round 2, and yeah, looks really good going into round 3 for her. We then get to round 3, and at first it is kind of a mad scramble between Brogan and Laura. They're both landing a lot of really heavy strikes. It looks like Laura's landing more, but she's just using her speed and shorter range to her advantage. But Brogan is still able to come over the top and land some really big stuff, and she lands probably the heaviest shots. Even though Brogan's face is wearing more damage, weirdly enough, she's got a little mark above her head. Laura's not wearing as much, but she was still hit pretty damn hard. And yeah, round 3 is pretty much the same as round 2. Brogan just utilising her reach quite well and utilising it a lot better, landing way heavier stuff, landing some amazing hooks, some amazing kicks to the leg as well. Laura was really not following up as well. I think she might have gone for another takedown in round 3. I honestly couldn't tell you. It doesn't matter because, again, Brogan defended extremely well and managed to keep it standing. And yeah, as the round went on, she just kept outclassing Laura on the feet. Landed some really good strikes, landed a really good head kick as well. Just had full control of this entire round for me. Laura did start to put a couple of clinches together, but again, nothing really came of it. She did land the odd big shot here and there, but Brogan was able to brush it off and land her own big shots and counter really well, utilising her accuracy over Laura's more frustrated aggression. But yeah, all 3 rounds are over and done with. That's full 15 minutes, and Brogan wins by unanimous decision, and don't really disagree with that call at all. While this wasn't the most... I can't say it was the most exciting fight or the most entertaining, but it was intelligently fought from Brogan, and yeah, I definitely think she did enough to win. Even though she was wearing a little bit more obvious damage on her head, that doesn't mean she didn't do anything. In fact, she did a lot more than Laura did, for my money. And yeah, props to her. Props to Laura for hanging in there as well. And props to Brogan for fighting through that with just one, with basically just one leg. Her right knee was still bad, but you wouldn't know from looking at her. She looked absolutely phenomenal. Her striking was really good. The fact that she threw so many kicks with the right leg too. I mean, it was just a really good performance from her. And very well noted from Danny White for how well Brogan did, because she did well enough to get the win. And that'll about do it for this episode review. Tomorrow will be another episode of Music of the Week, and next episode of The Ultimate Fighter, well, it'll be the last heavyweight semi-finals, so the winner of it will be joining Zach Pauga in the finals, and it'll be Muhammad Usman from Team Pena against Eduardo Perez, the last remaining heavyweight of Team Nunes. And the only other thing I know about next week's episode is because I saw a bit of the preview. I try and cut out before I get to that point, because I don't want to spoil anything. Is that Kamaru Usman, Muhammad's older brother, even though Muhammad is a lot bigger, is actually going to be showing up to support his brother. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes, because Usman is currently one of the best fighters in the world and is the current UFC welterweight champion. So do with that what you will. And yeah, next video will be obviously tomorrow, Music of the Week. And reminder, no stream on Friday, no Peggle stream on Friday, because I've still got to work through the Psychonauts 2 footage and keep editing that. I am getting closer to finished. I would say I'm like 40% done. But there's still quite a lot to go through. There's still like about 10 odd hours of stuff to go through. So yeah, it's going to be quite a chunky lot. But that'll be for then. Yeah, see you tomorrow. And next thing I can promise will be... Oh! I almost forgot. Thank you to anyone who was PBW for saving up stream last night. That was really good too. Yeah, next video I can promise after tomorrow there will be possibly Fire the Night on Sunday. That'll be do it. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome.